You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AfterBuzz TV for How to Make It in America. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest How to Make It in America news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV for How to Make It in America.
Yeah, that's right. You are listening to the AfterBuzz, the after show for How to Make It in America. My name is Ronnie Jr. I'm sitting here with our social media guru on the...
I just got this new tablet here. This is awesome. I'm
okay.
I feel like a kid at Christmas time again.
You are.
The budget for the show is bigger now.
You look like a 14-year-old going to high school or something. Like,
yeah,
it's
I'm ready.
Jesse F. Daniels, of course,
sir.
our spicy
Mari in the building.
Yeah,
Mari.
always funny. I tell you, when you watch a show with Mari, you're going to get some extra comments that are just really, really cool.
I can't help it. I need a filter, I know.
And I like the way you were dancing at the beginning of the show right here. That was fun. I would have joined you, but I feel like my dancing should have been expired post the AfterBuzz first host party.
I thought you were doing some good moves this weekend.
I woke up the next day like I'm just tired. Like I didn't have to go do the Runyon hike that we were going to do.
Yeah, you got to practice your drop it low move.
Yeah, so I'm going to work on
like
that.
Those hats.
But real quick, for those, man, AfterBuzz has such a great thing going on here. I'm telling you, for the amount of fun we had. Jesse, you missed it.
I'm disappointed I missed out, but you guys sound like a good time.
I mean, it was one pledge, or Ronnie messed up. I lost my cell phone for 3 days.
That's ridiculous.
After you told me, watch how much you consume drinking.
I don't know. In the middle. I wasn't making any sense. Anyway, so that was my, you know me, I try to stay hustle mode and very How to Make It in America-ish.
Right.
But I guess, sometimes it happens on my birthday. A couple months ago, I was a little wild. And,
That vodka and Red Bull.
The AfterBuzz party. and you know what's funny? I hear there may be another one coming up soon. So,
Ooh, I will be there.
I'll be a little more tame then. Or will I?
Free alcohol and food?
Yeah.
Can't miss that.
And your dancing was good.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about this great show. We are in such a great mood. So many good things happening. I feel like this is a good time of the year.
Awesome.
The holidays kind of gets people
Thanksgiving.
excited. Yeah. And it's sad because we only got 2 more shows of How to Make It in America.
I did weep earlier for that.
She did. She
that's
cried.
some sad news.
I truly feel like the momentum they have right now, they've got to have
There has to be a season coming back. I'm not ready to let the show go.
Especially what we got today on today's show. We start off the show with Ben and Cam. They're talking to Capo. Capo, we have seen, he's been introduced to us in this show as just like the nerd, the money guy, and he's about to go through some reality of his own. We see him talking and being very nervous about getting locked up, potentially.
Well, yeah, he goes to Cam and asks him to hit up Rene for protection, and it was just good to see that, he had that little bit of vulnerability.
That's a smart move on his case. He's trying to get some street cred in the pen. That's smart.
I don't even know how that works, though. Like, how does that work?
Hey, man, it's all about who you know in there. I know.
So that was all right. You're connected with everybody.
I feel like Ben.
You don't want to know about my family's background.
So that was it was definitely a good move because Capo, this is not his world. Obviously Cam could link it up, and it's going to be interesting as we get to the end of this episode how that really opens up the doors to a lot of different things. But anyways, Capo will talk to Rene. Man, that got intense later. Then we have Rene. He's going into the office to go look for Debbie. I always like those scenes. He did it once earlier in the series. And she's not there. Rene, he does get a call from the buyer that wants to push out the Rasta Monsta. He had issues, though. He had issues with the weed spray, right?
Right.
So Rene vows, I have nothing to do with this. I don't know where this came from or whatever. And the buyer, he says, okay, well, I'm trusting you, so...
Well, he tells him that, he's got this whole tour planned out for him. It's like, we're going to take you there. We're going to do this. Yeah, the buyer. And then, we're going to buy this amount and everything. He sets it up, like, as long as you're not a drug dealer.
Yeah.
So it was
it's
cool.
like it's like on his word, really. I mean, that's kind of what I was actually shocked to see the guy do that because I didn't think he would trust Rene. Rene doesn't have like a reason to be trusted, but he's
been doing good, lately.
Yeah.
Up until last episode.
Yeah.
He's been a good guy.
Somebody who's just not been good or just been crazy or just been everything. Rachel's at Biscuit. She's talking to her boss, who I love her boss's character for the record. Her name is Robin. I want to know more about this actress because she plays this stone-faced
witch.
Yeah.
I would say witch with the B.
Really crazy. She plays it really well.
Yeah.
So Rachel's sitting in the meeting, and the boss, obviously does not love Rachel. Rachel opens up and starts telling her kind of things that you don't really tell your boss this early. I mean, they barely started working together. And she says, well, you hired me because blank, blank, blank. Like, I don't know if you say that right away to your boss. I mean, they've only been working together for a little bit, right?
Yeah. I mean, Rachel kind of has this, like, not high and mighty, but I think she didn't take into consideration the fact that, like, it's a business, and at the end of the day, she has to watch her own back for Biscuit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Rachel does get the axe real quick. She got fired.
And that was Jesse's prediction.
I called it.
He called it. He said she was going to get fired.
I know. Usually you're the one who's always right, but Jesse was right
this time. Jesse gets the bar.
Give myself applause.
Yeah, we knew it was going to kind of happen, but yeah, she gets fired. And we're going to see in this episode that Rachel goes pretty much nuts. She loses it.
I feel like she takes drugs every episode.
That's what she's been doing.
She's on a drug every single episode.
That is definitely what she's been doing. Now we go over to the world of Ben and Cam. They go and speak with Yossi. And I think every time, as far as us, the viewers watching, the scenes are just so cool because the offices that Yossi has it's pretty enticing for the for these two guys especially, So there's that element, but they learn a lot. They learn a lot and they learn it quick. First little note was Yossi's talking to both of them and talking about the fabric. And then Ben goes, is that real Japanese fabric? Because that's like really important.
He's like, yeah, that's close enough.
Yeah. And Yossi was like, just don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I mean, if you start something, a project, you want it to be legit. So there was already that. And then he reveals the big sign. You saw it.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome when they just said, is it ready? Is it ready? I thought it was going to be an ad. I thought they were going to look out the window and they were going to see a billboard for Chris.
Well, because the way he loaded it up, he made it like, I got something to show you that you're going to love.
Yeah, that you're going to like it. Yeah. And so they're walking over, is it ready? Is it ready? And then they turn on the little neon light of Crisp by Yossi.
Which just doesn't sound good at
all.
Oh
my gosh.
Crisp by Yossi.
I mean, I get it. I get the whole concept, and everyone wants to get their name in there. But
I am kind of with Nancy on this a little bit. Like, it sounds bigger than it is.
Crisp by Yossi,
right?
Oh, I can't. I mean,
Ed Hardy when it started out was like by Kushnadiju or however you say that.
I can't. I can't do
Thank you.
I can't do any by anything.
Obviously, I'm not a big fashion guy.
Yeah. Neither am I, man. I don't know. I just thought it was lame. It was corny, and I loved the way Cam got mad right away. Cam actually has been getting aggressive. I guess I want to say that he's been more chill. But no, he hasn't.
Well, because they kind of made it like a lever this season, so he's been on more the sensitive side.
And this is the Cam that you and I and everyone else kind of really enjoyed season one.
The aggressive fighter, the hustler Cam. That's the one that we love.
When he had his scene at the very end, we'll get to, with Ben, he's dropping some lines that I was like, man, that is true. All of it. All of it true to life. So yeah, they do the walk and talk. I love the little street scenes. Those are always my favorite.
We know this.
Yeah, well, I'm obsessed with New York City. You know that. Yeah, anyway, they're doing their walk and talk, and they're just kind of basically going back and forth. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Great scene. I think we all go through those types of things.
That's a tough decision. That is a really tough decision.
Well, it strikes a chord a little later in the episode because, right now they're just on the level of what are we going to do? But it's not a money thing just yet. So,
But don't you feel like, I kind of noticed it for the first time in this scene was that, Ben is always kind of like taking... not advice, but almost like Cam is telling Ben what to do.
That is true.
It's like, you got to go talk to Nancy. You got to kind of sort it out. He's like, all right, I'll do it.
Are you saying that Ben was always the boss kind of out of the two?
Yeah.
I get that.
I just feel like Ben doesn't have not necessarily a backbone. I think he doesn't formulate his own thoughts. Like he goes off of what people are telling him is best and who should be designing what pair of jeans or sewing, manufacturing whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think that he necessarily is the brains of the operation, and I don't think he naturally has the hustle in him. I think the reason that Cam is getting, taking it so personal is because he's a fighter. He has that thirst, that hunger in him, and Ben doesn't have the hunger so much.
Yeah.
He's
Ben's
more
the
just
designer,
hoping
you know,
to
he's-
sleep his way to the top.
Yeah, well, I can't.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Don't go there.
I mean,
now.
he slept his way and he was on
you know
top.
what? Maybe
not sleeping his way to the top.
Maybe he's changed because he's seeing a much easier opened arena. You know, I don't know. Like he wasn't.
Right.
Anyways, but it is cool because Ben does tell him. He says, "Oh well, I'll just talk to Nancy," and that's just a sucky situation for Cam to have to be like, what do you mean you're gonna we're not it's almost like he's becoming the third person. He's becoming the third wheel real quick. So I'm sure Cam's not happy. Let's go over to Rene. Now Rene and his people, they're in the street and they're asking about the weed spray. To me, that's kind of saying that Rene and his crew are asking around. They're, they could put the word out real quick.
White boy Chi-Chi.
So they're gonna find out is this product, the weed spray, is it off the market or whatever you want to call it? So they ask, and it was initially, right?
Right.
So that was early on. But then not later on. We're going to go back to when Ben actually confronts Nancy, and then other stuff happens a little later.
Was it really a confrontation?
Well, it started off as yo, what up? Okay. And then she basically says to Ben, I want you to license it to Yossi. That just sucks. Ben has no choice now. You got Nancy's not supporting you. Yossi's going to take from you. And you really got to count on both of them for your dream.
But I thought it was really interesting in this scene we saw, and we've all, Yossi was just introduced last episode.
Right.
And we're all still trying to figure out what kind of person he is, who is he, and, Nancy gave us a little, insight into who Yossi is with, he just wants a little recognition. He's been this behind-the-scenes guy.
Which could be a lie, a complete
right?
lie.
And that's not hunger, that's called thirst.
Yeah.
Remember, hunger
which
versus
we've
thirst?
established the difference on this AfterBuzz show. No, and
or in life.
Yeah, in life, right? But I just thought it was interesting because to me, I thought Yossi is he's the front man, he's a front runner, and she kind of gave him a little vulnerability, like this guy, he just wants to be one of the kids, kind of thing.
But I don't buy it though.
I don't either.
No, not at all.
Am I the dumb fool that's buying all this?
The question, are you the dumb fool? Well, Jesse, we always know that answer. No. Real quick, she says, and this line was just, I don't know, very interesting to me. You got the keys to the kingdom. You don't think that comes without a price? Oh, if I could count a penny or $1 for every time I kind of heard a similar
She said that before when they first met. Remember when he popped up at her party? And she said the same thing.
And I think this is what makes Cam and Ben so different, and why I think if they did divide, me and you, we're going with Cam for sure. Because Cam is more like, nah, I don't play that. I'm going to do me, and I'm going to find a way to do me, and we're going to do this lane. I mean, it's just weird to me because I don't know if he'll show up in the show anymore, but Andy was the one who wanted to be that grassroots person with them.
Right.
And now, they're almost getting in. They're so stuck right now. They're stuck with the fact that Ben is with Nancy, sexually. They're stuck with the clothing line, the manufacturer. I mean, it's a lot to deal with.
It's a do we sell ourselves out for the paycheck? And that's something that I think that people have to deal with all the time. That's something that you're going to have to deal with in any industry, but especially the entertainment industry. Yeah. I think that they have to deal with that issue.
The keys to the kingdom.
Do we give our name away? It's like Tina Turner.
And I think
I just want to keep my name.
That was big. She knew the most important aspect
about
was
the branding. It was the brand.
And you just business-wise, you got to is there a price? You got to know. And I think when it comes down to it, I always think of back in the day when rappers would sell the mixtapes out of their back of the trunk. You have so much leverage and so much power when you do so much grassroots street promotion.
Yourself, right.
And I always apply that even to big, projects or whatever. I feel like if people had that mentality, you're a lot stronger. Let's say you're trying to get a TV deal.
That's why the story behind Drake is so big now.
Right.
Is he's, I did it without a record deal kind of a storyline.
Exactly.
Wow, that's impressive. And that is, How to Make It in America. Yeah. It's touching this generation. We're trying to do it without, grabbing onto the big corporations and stuff like that.
I mean, hopefully one day I'll have 90 million Twitter followers and I can tell NBC, I want to roll,
just write me into some show.
And grab me by the balls. Or I'll have to do the bend and just have sex with somebody. I don't know. Anyways, do the bend.
But then it also kind of calls out both of their characters. And I think we're really getting nitty gritty now with Ben and Cam. I mean, later on we'll see that one scene.
That was so cool.
But right now, Nancy calls it out. Don't let Cam push you around on this one.
That was totally a punk move. She was,
right?
Yeah. I didn't appreciate her saying that. That was obvious manipulation, and I feel like she's been manipulating Ben since the beginning.
And he doesn't see it, huh?
He's just naive. I think Ben's just naive.
I identify with Ben a lot on a lot of things, but I like to think I'm a little smarter than that. Like,
As I call naive, I'm sorry.
Right? Can you guys back me
one
up
of my
on
best
that?
friends. They're all good, dude.
But
all good.
yeah, I feel like you want to yell at the screen or something like, dog.
Well, you know what? If we would have watched the episode a little later, or if they didn't cut, I think there would have been some yelling, moaning, and groaning because we had a spicy certified scene yet again.
Spicy certified.
Baby.
I mean, nothing will top. I want to say, was it the first one? Was it the first time they hooked up in the cab? That was the hottest
by
because
far.
Yes,
it just
yes.
was.
But
then the second one,
that was hot.
as Humberto said last week, that one was just good because I don't know.
I mean,
That
all
was
their
at the end
hookups
of the
are
boat,
good.
right?
But this one was just good. Because I thought it was over. But
It's awesome. We
it's
haven't
never
seen
over.
them doing it in like a normal situation. You know what I mean? Like at home.
But that adds to the fun,
and,
excitement.
you know,
Exactly,
The
that's
spicy
what
certified.
the spicy
I
certified.
thought was
Spicy
different. I
certified.
think she was the boss in both other encounters. I think this time he was like, did you see
Yeah,
him getting a little
yeah.
like, yeah, girl? Like, I don't know.
I still feel like she was in control. Because
Really?
they have sex
No.
when she wants to have sex.
I don't know, but
That is-
Every single time. She calls the
didn't
shot.
Didn't he grow a pair a little bit though this
He
episode?
did. You got to give him that, Marty.
Maybe we were just like supporting. We were just like,
I know. I think you guys are
Come
just
on,
trying to
guy,
root for Ben.
I guess
I feel like Ben was leaving and she's
guess-
like dangling her little foot at his
I guess,
crotch. Like,
yeah.
come
At
on.
the end
Are
of
you
the
sure
day,
about that? You look
she
so
had-
cute.
She had the power.
She treats
You're
him like a
right.
little boy.
Let's move on to Rachel, who we obviously know this episode. She loses it. She's crazy. She's talking with Tim about being fired. So Tim's remedy, of course, is always them
Homemade
do mushrooms.
shrooms
to be on a substance.
from his garden.
I love his line. He said, "Let's ride the snake to the lake." I mean, that was just it. So
What does that even
What
mean?
does that mean?
it doesn't matter. It was the way he said it. I didn't even say it as good as he said
That
it. on
sounds
the show.
sexual to me, but
Let's
I mean,
ride
I'm
the
the only
snake
one
to
with
the
a
lake.
dirty mind.
And he just like he dipped into her and he said it, kind of with his just.
Like, what's his
whisper.
motive? What do you guys think?
I don't get him. I don't know. Well, I mean, we know that he's from the Neanderthals, so we know he's an ex-drug addict. Well, how can he be an ex-drug addict if he's doing it? I don't know.
No, I mean they're fashion.
I know, right?
He's in
You
the
can't be an
fashion
ex-drug
business,
addict if
right?
you're still having.
I don't understand his whole
Drugs.
thing, but obviously he does have a clothing line that does
Yeah.
well. I guess he's one of those people that everything he does, it's happening, but he's not trying for nothing.
Right, his is just a
Hate those
natural
people.
unfolding
Right?
lucky
He
story.
just are the opposite. We try, but we have no talent.
And once again, Rachel is messing with the enemy still. Like even her,
Why-
I
why
feel.
the enemy?
Well, I feel like that's Crisp's competitor. Ben and Cam
Oh,
expressed to you that they weren't crazy about the Neanderthals and how they're getting on, and it's
Yeah.
they
Which is
kind of have a
interesting
little
when
jealousy.
she finds the crisp sticker.
Oh yeah, that's a little later, but yeah.
No, that's the same scene.
No, yeah, right away.
After they hit
Like
the
you've
shroom.
been calling it, Madi. Another reason to bring up Ben's name. Like, is she going? Come on, she's not over it. But
she
that's
loves
okay.
her some Ben.
That's okay. Love is love, and psychotic. Whatever. She's just. Let's go to Cam. Rene. Rene does ask Cam about the weed spray. I thought it was a funny moment with the grandma, who I was waiting to come back to.
She's so cute, and that is really a Latina
That's what I'm
grandma,
saying, yeah.
right?
That-
Like, what can I cook you and give me some of what you got?
It was
Aw.
so cool. She was
Tries out the perfume.
Right.
She was in season 1 a bunch, and she hasn't been in this season except for episode 1, but she was just in the background. I don't think she had a line either. But today she goes, "Oh, let me try that spray."
Yeah, that was adorable.
Which she thought was perfume.
Right.
We learned it was the weed spray. So
That was
kind
adorable.
of cool.
But I was mad at Cam for that.
For playing it off like he didn't know.
I just feel like this
And
is
he
your
played it off
family.
weird, yeah.
Like you see, he's trying to change his life. All you guys are making it so hard for Rene. Like
Yeah.
Rene can't get a break.
Yeah.
He's trying to change his life around
Wasn't
his
that
own
the theme of-
cousin.
Yeah, isn't that the theme of the whole show though? Like everyone's just trying to get a break, you know?
Yeah,
And
so
like,
girl trying to get a nut.
But I feel like Renee's is so much more different than anybody's.
I
Because
guess you're right. Yeah,
Not that everyone didn't have baggage, but like Rene just has so much.
he's really
I
trying
don't
to turn
know.
his life
Like
around.
I guess the reason I say he has a lot riding on it is because he is good and ready to go back to the dark side. He is ready
Right.
to be a
He
criminal.
fights with it every day.
Whereas, like, I think if Cam still hustles and struggles, it's what it is, and
Mm-hmm.
same with Ben. But I think Rene, like, he's ready, but he's like, no, I'm not going to do it.
And Rene is a parole officer. You're
And-
messing with somebody's
hey,
freedom.
And why is he not going to do it, though? Because he loves Debbie.
Yeah, he does.
Like, Debbie is so important to this show, I think.
I love Debbie's character too. She's so cute. She's such a girl.
She was like the first profile we did as far as like the actress
Yeah,
we wanted to
she
know a
was.
little, because you do want to know a little bit more about her.
Right.
Now I'm interested to know about that Robin girl, but I don't think she's gonna be in the show too much more. But anyways, Cam does go to Domingo, tells him about the weed spray. They kind of have a big moment, and you kind of were watching a lot on this part of the show. How does Domingo react? What do you guys think about that situation?
When he presents him with the idea of selling the weed spray overseas, or no, at
well,
a
just
state,
kind of letting him know about the whole thing. Yeah.
I feel like he was being a good friend. I feel like he was kind of supportive. He was like, "Yeah, let's do it." I mean, it doesn't
Okay.
take Domingo like hardly anything to convince him. You don't have to tell him too much.
Right.
He's kind of going to go with the flow.
Yeah, I didn't even think we were going to see him in the episode, honestly.
Yeah, right?
He has no relevance other than the weed spray
But
thing.
he didn't take any like credibility for going behind Cam's back after he asked him not to sell that.
He didn't take accountability?
Accountability.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said credibility. He didn't take accountability.
I was like, you could be proud of that?
There's not water in this cup,
So if
folks.
you're sly and slick, you could, okay, gotcha.
There you go.
Then we go see, this. I feel like this is so sad for Rachel. Rachel feels like she has a connection with Tim, and she doesn't. They're all together at a sauna.
Oh, sauna. They call
Yeah.
it something else. But
And all
Was
of
it like a wee spa?
yeah.
a what? A weed spa?
A wee spa. Wee spa.
Wee spa.
Well,
Wee
there,
spa.
well, there they are. and comes in the sweaty ex-girlfriend, or not
Heather.
ex-girlfriend, yeah,
Current girlfriend.
and really just Tim.
Gets
What?
mad.
I thought you were just talking to her for the article, and man, Rachel. You know, the whole thing happens. A lot of commotions going on. She falls first of all because she's
That was sad,
She's
right?
it was actually sad. It was the first time we can't talk bad
Like
about
this whole scene, I was just like cringing. Like I really felt
Because
it
the
was
friend
too
pushed her, or
real
the
to
girlfriend
me.
pushed her.
Just the girlfriend. That's just everything.
Well,
the
no,
whole-
and then Tim goes, "Oh no, baby, I love you." Talking to Heather,
Yeah.
I love you. She's just some girl I felt sorry for, and it's like while she said that, at least the way the producer shot it,
Yeah.
the exact moment that she was saying that, you saw a scene of Rachel on the ground, like out of her
Looking
mind.
up.
She's looking up at this smelly,
Dude.
old, really, really hairy, overweight guy, and it's like that's where her life is right now.
Yeah.
So I think we've had fun watching her because she's kind of like try to break the mold of like traditional, make money and like.
Yeah.
But she's completely lost it. So.
And she's embarrassed.
Yeah, I mean, I remember last episode we were all like proud of her, like, "Go ahead, Rachel, be you," like stand for. Now we're just like, no,
She's turning pathetic.
it's that line of conformity. I mean, you can't do everything you want to do. You got to be able, right?
I just don't think she's taking accountability.
Credibility.
Is that word?
Accountability or responsibility for her life right now, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's easier just not to do and not to care and just be free spirited than it is to actually like buckle down and make a plan and stick with it.
Yeah,
So she's just not creating one.
I didn't want to feel sorry for Rachel at all this season, but I do now. I really legitimately like.
She's
wow.
turning into like a little nutcase. Drugs every single time, booby
Yeah.
shots every single time,
And-
Right, we
sleeping
didn't
with
see-
someone every single time.
and I'm thinking she's crazy now, but like even though she wasn't crazy last season, she was kind of together. She was crazy in the sense that Edie White's, I guess it was called Designs, which is played by Martha Plimpton, wanted her to do a project. She didn't want to do it. So this is like the second time in a very short span where she's like, the boss needs her to do something and she wants to do her own thing. So she's clearly going to have to be her own boss too, because she can't work for nobody.
She's experienced a lot of rejection back to back.
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours.
And so I kind of feel like is the only savior for her going to be Ben? I mean, that's really what we.
Ooh, I can see that
Sorry,
happening.
that
Wow,
would be a
drop
prediction.
a hammer. Drop a hammer. all right.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about Ben and Cam. They're talking about all the choices, possible investors, and this is where Cam
Just
gives.
skip to your line.
I love this line because Cam, this was so Cam the very first season, and he kind of abandoned this because he's always with Lulu. She wasn't in this episode, right? No.
No.
So Ben says, Cam says, "Let me do what I do," which is just like if you watch. I think it was in better context the first season. Ben would always want to do stuff. He was more like you said, the creative or whatever. But Cam was the make it happen person. So I think today was one of my favorite episodes because we got to see Cam be just like season 1 a little bit.
Right.
Wouldn't
That,
you agree?
that hustler came back out.
Yeah.
But was it because Lulu wasn't in this episode?
I don't know.
I'm just playing.
I don't know. And she's gonna be in next episode.
She'll be in the next
one.
But he definitely was like by any means necessary.
Yeah, like he's finding a way and he's trying things.
Because he doesn't want to, I feel like, sell his soul to the devil.
Yeah, and it sort of tests your spirits because you have this dangling on this side, like, well, we could go Chris by Yossi and we'll be good. And they have that big conversation at the end. Cam and Domingo, they talk about selling the weed spray at the Damian Marley show at UMass. So there's that, like you were talking earlier, there's that potential opportunity to just go sell it, be done with it, make money, and that's where the investor money would come from. That's the idea, but later on we know that there's a car accident and they pretty much get jacked, right?
Right.
So that's jumping ahead a little bit, but that's just what you need to know. Rachel gets wild at the liquor store. I mean,
That was hilarious.
We're having Lake Bell scenes where she just plopped in the show, like she ain't even talking to nobody.
She was just eating the soup right out of the pot and pouring it over some
That was
bread.
just awkward. I didn't know what to
That was
think.
unsanitary for anybody else coming into the liquor
Right?
store.
I think she was always like into this. Well, I'll just be like Tim because Tim fights the man. Tim is against the
Right.
man. Well, now she's like below Tim, and I think it's gotta grab her at some point. So
Like, there's a point where sustainability goes a little too far. Like,
and next week we do see, I really like the actress Martha Plimpton. We see her back on the show.
Oh,
so maybe she goes back to Edie White's design, possibly.
She needs to be saved right now.
Yeah, something.
She's spiraling out of control.
And you guys, this is what I love about the show. I mean, I could be wrong, but like, this is what about life. It takes like one little nugget, and then from that nugget you get another nugget, and that's how you literally change your life. Like, you could be in the dumps one day. Okay, I'm getting all thought freedom.
No, go for it. I'm with you. I'm riding this roller coaster with you.
the choir,
but
buddy.
I'm
Right.
serious. You could have one, like knockdown, and then it's you get the job back, and then her life's put together. Then maybe she does
Sometimes
a
a friend has
thing,
to intervene.
you know, and,
boop.
and then maybe
Get you back
Sometimes
into
you gotta
reality.
get back to with Ben.
Right.
I didn't think I was going to be this person that wants Ben and Rachel to get back together, but I feel like it would be cool to see on the show, on season 3, if it happens.
Hopefully, right?
Rene talks to Capo. I was like, why is this even happening? But as you said earlier, it's just because Capo's nervous and needs to...
Yeah, Capo wants advice or to get in with Rene
But
when he's in jail.
one of the craziest moves here, they're teasing him about jail. Capo's just like losing his mind, right?
Oh, and then he sprays the spray.
Yeah.
Now, he's been taking that spray since the wedding. Do you remember when
Yeah,
he first
that's-
sprayed
it's
it at
been
the
a while.
wedding
Which
for his
means
nerves?
he might have an addiction issue too.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow.
To the Rasta Monsta weed spray?
Well,
I guess that stuff really is good.
Well, I say that because I feel like, in my mind, addiction is way more mental than it is anything else. And the times that deep today, right? I don't know.
Right.
I haven't had my cell
Dropping
phone.
knowledge.
I haven't had my cell phone for 3 days. I've been a mess for
No
3 days.
tweet, no Facebook, just in your thoughts.
That's it.
A
Yeah,
lot
I
of
think I
time to
emailed you
yourself.
once. No, but listen, mess me up here.
The spray.
Yeah, the spray becomes a thing. When we all watched it, we sat in the room, all 3 of us, like, what is he doing? Obviously, he didn't know what happened.
Right.
They ask him, like, what the F, happened? Why do you even have that spray, you know?
I cringed again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough. And then he says, he thought by talking about it with, it's Cam's people.
Right.
Like it would be cool.
It's legitimacy.
Like, of course,
yeah.
right? Like, there's nothing wrong here.
I'm just like, man, Capo just ruined
Oh
it
my
for
Rene crushed it in his hands.
yeah.
And
So now
can't it absorb into his hands, though?
possibly.
Okay.
Yeah. Real quick, though, at this moment, I was just like, there has to be a season 3. Like, we're just going too
This is one of the best episodes.
Deep.
we've seen.
Yeah, no, it was great.
This
it not to
We had a
continue
couple
like that.
hot, steamy, sexy episodes, but this was back to like hardcore, How to Make It in
Right.
America, like
Because we're on the edge of our seats
where your
now.
mind is like left, right, center. Where do we go? You know, which I like. So then we have Ben. He's just getting off the phone with the girls. You know,
He was going to ask for an extension, I think.
Gadzooks, he was going to. I feel like those girls could be played and are easy to deal with, so that should be okay.
They were in San Diego.
What
Shout
you know
out
about?
to San Diego.
Is that
619 in the building.
hometown over there?
619.
And then I don't know. This scene was just cool. I liked it because it was outdoors. I believe they were in Central Park. Is what it looked like.
But legitimately, what was the point of it? Because, I mean,
the point was Wilfredo's been a mess. Or go ahead.
Well, he comes up to him and he's doing a photo shoot, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for Rasta
he just
Monsta.
says, "What's up?" And that's it. I mean, was there something that I missed? I just
Oh
didn't see-
yeah, I take things very literal, but I mean, it's just the idea that Wilfredo, as we saw in season 1, was really in the dumps, and Wilfredo's life
He lost
has
his
changed.
mind.
His life has changed, and not only that, he goes, "Well, I do this stuff at Rasta Monsta. Is it the biggest project? No." But I'm like, I'm getting paid. I could take a girl out to eat, get her a
Maybe
little
a
milkshake
milkshake.
if she's, and it's like, I just feel like people get so focused, in the wrong way, and just embrace each opportunity you have. This, like I said, those nuggets. It's those little nuggets.
He
Like,
expressed he had a second chance for life now. Like he seemed grateful.
and Ben needed to see that.
Is that it?
I think so. And I think what's so cool is I follow on Twitter the producer, which is Ian Edelman. I'm learning that Ian Edelman is Ben. Like, I mean,
Right,
we
no.
always knew that.
It's written on him.
So I'm kind of like wondering, man, like maybe he had that what does Oprah say, the aha moment where you're like somebody told him like, yo, just chill out. Like, I think sometimes you got to tell yourself like, stop taking yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
A little goal.
You can't help it sometimes, but sometimes you got to like.
But
Snap yourself
and
back
that was
into
good.
reality.
That's why it was good for Wilfredo to say, I mean, but I'm back, dude. Like, that's exactly
Right.
Did you see his face? I know you like a little Wilfredo Gomez.
Oh, wow.
So you saw his
Wilfredo,
expression.
who's that?
Right. So you saw his expression, and the expression sold it. He's like, I'm back. And I think he said it like that too.
Right.
Can I be an actor? Maybe. Who knows? So Cam gets jacked. We've already talked about that. Now Debbie tells Rene, "I'm not a parent, but Jesse,
Oh, wow.
what's this about? Tell me about this." Scene.
I don't know.
I'm gonna drink my AfterBuzz cup.
There you go. No, I've been in this situation before, obviously. But she says that she's pregnant.
Oh, happy and giddy.
But the very first, before she does, like, do you love me?
Why are you shaking your head?
Do you love me?
Because that scene was hilarious.
No, but it's
I'm
so
sorry.
true because that's how I was told. Is like, oh baby, do you love me? How
she wants
serious
words
is
of
this?
affirmation.
Because you want that, and then bam, you punch him with the.
I didn't see that
card
coming.
there.
I didn't see that coming
I
at
didn't
all.
either. I think we all
Yeah.
owed. Yeah.
When she said she was pregnant, and Rene, oh poor baby, bless his heart, was trying to hold it on his face that he was really disappointed that she was pregnant, but he knows that she'll strangle him by his
Well,
neck.
he's still, he wanted to ask the question. Are you sure it's
Are you
mine?
sure it's
no,
mine?
he started saying it. Yeah.
We didn't even get the question finished.
She got angry and yeah.
That's
You asked that, I'm
not
gonna
what
have
you
to kill
say
you.
to a woman when she's telling you she's about to have your child.
Don't ruin this joyous moment.
That's just tough though. It's tough on.
I love the dialogue. That was some good writing because that was
Yeah.
very
Good, yeah.
realistic.
Well, what did I
I've
say?
heard some
I
horror stories.
I never want this show to go to a spinoff, but if anyone can carry it, it's them.
Definitely.
Their dynamic is so cool, and they're way outside of the How to Make It in America. Like the things that I like about it. I like the How to Make It in America. It's music, it's fashion, it's hustle. They don't really have all that, but they're just such a dynamic.
It's a good storyline.
Yeah, that was great casting.
Then we get to my scene. I'm talking like this is probably going to be one of the best scenes in all of season 2. This is back to the basics of what made this show so good. Ben and Cam, they meet up, and Ben's telling Cam, well, if we just do Chris by Yossi, we'll have the money, and we can start our own line. I'm just dying to know what the two of you thought about that because I'm ready to have a word or two. I think we got to go to a break in a second, but go ahead real quick.
Ladies first.
Okay, I just feel like that was a really, really tough moment because I understand both of where they're coming from. It's like, do you be about your business, you hustle now, you give up your name and lose a little bit of legitimacy, but at the same time you make money and then you invest back into yourself because it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, or do you create your own opportunities? And I think Cam is coming from
God.
that area.
Wow.
Like, let's create our own opportunities. And he's like, no, let's take this one that's handed to us. And so Ben and Cam are conflicted.
Honestly, I mean, I can't truly express how I thought about that because I feel like I'm still going through that situation in my own life. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, that scene was so real that it was like, wow, I want to hear the answer so I know what
would you
to
do?
do, right? I can't. Take
He
the
would call.
take the
He would
line.
call Ronnie Jr. for advice.
Yeah,
and I would
right?
help him.
I would take...
I'd give him
much.
good advice, and then my life would be in,
I
in
think
shambles,
I think that
as
I
it
might
always is.
I don't
do
know, what
the
would you
Chris.
do?
I might sell it.
Sell
I might
it?
sell the name.
Right?
It's just a
I don't
name
know,
at the
I don't
end of the
know
day.
because you don't look a day over 21. But I don't. I just feel like the age does play an
Right,
impact.
it does.
He said something that's just like so in touch with me is like he's like I'm gonna be 30 and I don't have insurance.
Any minute.
And that's like a big deal. Like when I got I had to get some dental, and man, you will spend up to $2,000 like easy, quick. So
And not even that. Like, as a man, that's got to be hard on your ego, on your pride, to still be struggling at the age of 30.
I like this.
I'll tell
exchange
you
of
all
wo-
about it. But going back there is that difference though, because then you're like, well, no, do I just buck up and be like Cam? You know, like it's kind of like you're gonna be an artist. Well, there's no guarantee, but you just know where you're supposed to be.
Well, I like what Cam
so.
said. He was like, "Oh man, I'm out here in the streets trying to make it happen." I was just like, "Yes, man, yes, you are." And then Ben hits him with, "Oh yeah, how's that going for you?"
I
you know.
know.
And I was just like,
well, the thing is, I don't know if
That was
you
like a low
followed,
blow.
I don't know if you followed season 1 as much as I did, but they had a scene like that. They were selling the jackets,
The leather
and
jackets.
They were selling the jackets, and Cam
And the
was
skateboards prior to that.
Yeah, Cam was saying the same thing. So we will always know with these two, Cam is going to be a little more like us, and Ben is going to be a little bit more like the people that tell us to stop.
He's a practical thinker, which
Yeah.
which makes sense, and I understand where he's coming from about the age thing. And also, you won't believe how many people are given opportunities that are once in a lifetime opportunities that they pass up because they think that they can get it another way or that they have time. And really, at the end of the day, they look back like woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah.
So I feel Ben in that aspect, like, let's make this move, let's do it.
Well, I just think that nothing that you do validates, like, if you have a good mental, kind of opinion of yourself or just your vision. Don't let like, okay, well, this is not what we want to do. Now we're Chris by Yossi. Now we're whack. Now we're goofy. Who cares? Like, build from it. Zoo York, again, as they even said and made fun of in the show, because obviously the guy from Zoo York is actually one of the
Right.
designers for the crisp line. I mean, he had a line, did well. Then it became a line that went to Ross.
Right.
So obviously, you would consider it maybe a moneymaker, but a little bit of a loss credibility-wise. But now, flashing forward years later, he gets another opportunity. What I'm saying is, don't be so damn stubborn within your career. I'm sorry.
Preach, Ronnie Jr.
I've had a crazy week. This is my
Amen.
This is
You're dropping it on us.
Hallelujah. This is my thought freedom episode. I still got to get that tattoo right here.
Don't be so prideful.
No, I mean, it really is. Like, do what you have to do, and it's not a bad thing. It's an accomplishment. You became Chris Bayosi. Enjoy the accomplishment. Use those funds. If it was me, I would did a clothing line and that happened, I'd say, great, now I could open an art gallery.
And at the end of the day, they know they're behind it. You know what I mean? You're not losing that much credibility.
To do
exactly.
other things.
Right.
For me, like when I get opportunities, if anything like this ever happened to me, it would be great. Now I could go manage an artist. Now I could go, we'll work with Madi. Like I don't know what her goals are, but we'll shop her to the network. Like, I mean, these are things I want to do, and I can't do them. You know what I'm saying? You can't do them by being stubborn and hard-headed. Get your credibility, get your pride out of the way, or else you're going to be sitting in the corner, ending up like Rachel. Boom. Let's end the craziness, right? Okay, so the Kristen and Kristen's call back, that's when they basically learn...
Drop the bomb that Nancy made them work with Yossi.
Oh, right, that's when they were in San Diego. Okay.
Yeah. So as we thought, we couldn't trust Nancy. You want to trust her because she's cute and hot and all that.
Nancy was shady from the beginning. I think Nancy was up to no good.
You knew that?
I did. I just don't trust her because she never fully supported the boys.
Yeah.
Never had enough trust in them, never believed in them. She was giving them the runaround the entire time. Felt like she wanted to constantly prove to them that she's the boss and that they can't do anything without her.
And I believe that is kind of how we left that episode. Or was
that was the most awkward ending of a show that we've seen
usually they
so far.
boom a little more. But it didn't. But it's okay.
I feel like it was. He felt betrayed.
Yeah. Oh, so it was just that. And we're going to see a lot more in the previews. We definitely got to jump to commercial and then wrap up the show within the next 5-6 minutes. All right. Come back.
The biggest new media platform on the web just got bigger. More bandwidth, smoother streaming, lightning, fast download.
Don't get technical with me.
AfterBuzz TV is making the jump to hyperspace. Join the fun at your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Look at the size of that thing.
AfterBuzz TV.
Okay.
Oh, we're back. Woo! Yeah, that's right. I'm having a good show. This is fun, you guys. How to Make It in America, AfterBuzz, AfterBuzzTV.com. Thank you very much for the Ustream people and the iTunes people. We love them all.
Thank you.
We just recapped the show. One of my favorite shows by far.
Yes.
Music was good again in this episode. I think this guy Scott Venner, I believe is his name, Broke Mogul. It's just so good with the music, and he did Entourage, and he also does 90210.
And what's dope about him is that he just got that opportunity because he was friends with the producer from Entourage.
You serious?
Yeah, the producer from Entourage had him watch the show and see what he thought about Entourage, and he was like, it's kind of funny, but I'm distracted by the bad music. And so the producer said, well, if you think you can do better, go ahead and give me a soundtrack. And that's how he started. He was like, you know what, I'm going to be your music consultant.
And I wonder if it was his idea. I'm assuming with that kind of personality, it was probably his idea to do the mixtapes.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's making mixtapes now for How to Make It in America, and he's hustling his tapes. He's a
killing
DJ
it.
too.
The music on the beat of this show is just perfect. I mean, ever since the very first song, which was Cameron's Oh Boy, which is a song I really don't love that much. I actually don't love it that much, but now every time I hear it, I love it because the scene was awesome. It was Cam on the bike with the little Jewish kid. I mean, I'm talking with the full look, and everything, and it was down, New York City. Like it was a cool vibe, and they really captured that. Music was good in this one too.
He does his research in iTunes, Facebook. Like he's going online trying to research what music goes best for the show.
There's a real nitty gritty kind of feel on the show.
Yeah, he's hustling.
And all over the place. It's not, people will check into the show, they're like, oh, it's all urban rap music. No,
not at all.
Not at all. Let's do one little profile because we're going to wrap up here soon. Were you going to talk about Luis Guzman?
Yeah, Luis Guzman.
Yeah.
So he has an interesting background because he is known for always playing the aggressive, gangster, angry kind of sidekick for every single film that he's ever done. And he's actually been in several films that you might recognize him in. He's a Puerto Rican native who grew up in New York. So How to Make It in America is kind of relatable to him. But you've seen him in Taking a Felon 123 or 123 with Denzel.
Denzel, yeah.
And then he also did.
He plays a good bad guy.
Yeah, he does. He always plays the bad, like Carlito's Way. He did Yes Man with Jim Carrey.
He's been around forever.
We've seen him forever. And what's crazy is that he played a kind of gangster role, which he's very well known for in Oz, which was him in jail. And the way that he got that was that the show had just started and he had seen the show. Some friends had recommended it to him. He fell in love with the show. He hits up his agent. He's like, you got to get me on the show. His agent's like, man, are you sure they're not paying anything for any of the actors? He was like, I don't care. I'm trying to make it. Put me in the show.
Cool. He said this?
Yeah.
Wait, you're talking about this state of his career?
Yeah, in this state of his career. He just wanted to be on
Boom.
Oz.
That's great.
And so then it goes into, 3 seasons now and he's on the show. And so all of that is character building. And so one of the quotes that I love.
God, people that just get it.
He's a hustler.
Get the opportunity and roll. Like, you can do so much.
And he knows that he's known as, usually the sidekick, which I love because now he's a star of the TV show. Where before he always plays the sidekick and doesn't get, enough credibility.
Honest to God, I never did the, the comparisons with Entourage and what's the Jeremy Piven's character? Why am I forgetting? Ari.
Yeah, Ari.
I never did that. And I still don't really see the same.
You don't see it? He's like the boss.
But the world
Like
is
a
all,
boss.
the world is all talking. And I guess that's a great character for him.
He says, leading men crash and burn. Character actors are around forever. That's a quote that he said. And why that's so important is because he created a character. Like, he found his essence and he brings that into every single project that he works on.
That's my aspirations and goals. You just want to be famous enough to book work steady and, not be so famous where you're in the magazines all the time and stuff like that. Like, people know your face, but they may not know your name.
These days, if you're an actor, you ain't going to be in the magazines as much as in reality.
That's true.
And then Basketball Wives girls are all up in
Right.
I know.
the tabloids way more than How to Make It in America. But actually, me and you were just talking. Ben, I'm calling him Ben. Brian Greenberg, he's actually done a lot of different events within the past week. And then Ian Edelman, I think they went to Vegas for the Pacquiao fight. So, actually,
they have a great social life.
They're getting. I follow them on Twitter because I'm like, wow, they are making it in America. They're more on the Entourage tip at this moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're definitely living their How to Make It in America life is not matching their real personal lives. They're jet setting. They're at every single red carpet event possible.
Yeah.
They're living the Entourage life now.
Yeah.
They love Bacardi because they keep going to these Bacardi events with Maroon 5's 5th annual Halloween bash. They were at the Bacardi and Complex magazine.
Oh, when I make it, I'm going to the vodka events. That's just
Vodka, is that your drink of
smoke.
preference?
You know
As long as you don't lose your cell phone.
Cannot guarantee anything. Cool. So, yeah, a lot going on with them. And you know what? We talked about Luis Guzman a little while ago. What I think is really cool, he plays the badass characters, but on his YouTube page, he's funny.
Hilarious.
He's funny. He's a very funny
I
guy.
respect people who can make fun of themselves.
Oh,
that
yeah,
to
that's
me,
huge.
by far, the best asset.
Self-deprecating humor. You cannot be too serious, and that's kind of like...
That's why sometimes stars make it or break it on SNL,
definitely.
When
Let's
they go
talk
on.
about... we're going to wrap up the show right here.
Well, I don't have too much of a Twitter report this week,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I do have the...
Well, it's been a busy week.
Yeah, exactly. Between losing cell phones and everything. No, the most... what are we going to call this? The AfterBuzz most...
It's like the awards of the episode. So we
of the episode.
Yeah, it's like, who stood out, yeah.
So I have 4 here, and I want to know what you guys
categories?
think. Yeah, 4 categories. I have
let's do it.
who's the meanest? I say Rene, just because he's getting back into like his
you think he's
nitty-gritty.
going to cross over to the criminal side?
Or do you guys think maybe Nancy?
I think Nancy is by far the biggest villain ever.
Really? Oh, yeah, she is. She's like sly,
She
slick,
is
and
a
wicked.
witch.
Mine would be, what is it? We're looking at villains, kind of?
Yeah.
It's a villain to herself. Rachel is killing herself.
Ooh.
And
Ronnie getting deep.
Deep.
what's wrong with me today? I need some sleep.
That's a good
villain
one.
to herself.
All right, we have the award for the nerdiest. I think would definitely go to Capo.
Capo.
Right? He is just a scared mess.
Yeah.
Right now, just like
And now he has no one to help him. He was going to have Rene help him.
he was on top. He was like the power man.
I think Renee
like,
will still help him.
But are you really, here's a question. Are you really on top when you're so, let's say...
Well, he had the money. Money makes the world go round. I'll tell you that.
But does it really? I mean, I don't have great social skills myself, but I mean, if you don't have social skills, he's kind of outcasted. He's doing his own thing. He's kind of weird, and then he gets money, and then he gets friends. That's not even not fair to the friends. That's not fair to Capo. You know what I mean? So he kind of. This is okay. I would love in season 3. I would love to see him go through this self-destructing. I don't want to wish bad things on fictional characters, but I think it's going to be good for him. He needs to
growing
build,
process.
He needs to get knocked down, and he'll build becoming a better Capo. Like he's went from I am outcast to I have money, now I get everything I want. That's not good. Just because it looks good, that ain't good either.
Or imagine if he comes out of jail and he's all like a badass now.
What if he's like tatted up?
Yeah, that's what I was
Tear coming
imagining.
on down.
He's the new Rene.
Anyways, award for the hottest. Who do you think would the hottest, sexiest character in this episode?
It would probably be the hookup with Nancy and Ben. I
Ooh,
would
that's
say
what you would think?
Only because this was different, because I always feel like Nancy was kind of like, she was calling the shots. And I felt like even though she did kind of call it, we were like very proud of Ben. We were like, because Ben, like, I don't know, like he stopped. He like arms out, looked at her and like whispered to something and then got to work. So
I felt like he was a boss in that situation.
Ben grew up.
Shaking my head, shaking my head.
I'm sure it's not to agree upon, but Ben manned up and it was so cool to see. So yeah.
I would vote for Rachel. The reason why she's hot is because the writers know she's hot. So as often as they can show us her body, they're going to do that.
Well, you said something about her boobs earlier.
Her boobs,
which we all thought were real, yeah.
We thought they were until this last scene. This episode, I realized that they're not. They were done, but they look great, and I love that I got to see them again. I was happy about that scene. Her falling and her boobs just like perfectly stood up while she fell.
You're right, because they could have been in any location.
They could have been.
And the fact that she had to have that top on, like she could have been wearing a tank top, a wife beater, a t-shirt.
Well, I go to HBO.com and they have
all the
sweating behind the scenes videos. They said this was a sexed up version of the show, so
nice.
They found a way.
It was.
I have the last one. This is the biggest award right here. Okay. The most likely to succeed.
I'm gonna take a bold. I'm gonna go with, is it Ben or Cam? That's where I'm gonna go, and it is going to be Cam.
It's going to be Cam. I said Cam too.
Cam said to Lulu, he said, "Wait, I can't ask my pops for money. He's the brokest dude I know." Cam is a different person. Cam has to do what he has to do.
Yeah.
Which may even be coming back and saying, let's sell the line or franchise it, all right.
Well, and
you don't think that could work too?
Will he
come back in?
Sell out? Maybe. I mean, Cam got pretty mad. He said, Cam says, F yourself with that attitude. But, I mean,
think Ben will convince him.
Ben, do you think Ben will play Big Brother? Like a bigger brother?
Yeah, like come on, Cam. Like, I think he's going to reason with him and he's going to be able to cross him over to the dark side.
I think Cam's going to come around.
Yeah.
Well, because Cam doesn't have the knowledge.
Because it's hard to make it in America. And sometimes you got to sell your soul to make it.
That much? I mean, you would say it just like that?
Yeah. Sometimes you have to compromise your morals and your standards.
Yeah, I mean,
and what you want to do in order to make it.
If you have the vision, I think Cam will come around too. But he will keep.
But we all agree he's the one that's going to make this happen.
Yeah, and he'll keep Ben.
Ben can't do it by himself.
No,
that's what we all agree on, right?
Right.
Yeah, and you know what was best about this is I love it when we see how they are so different, because a lot of people who watch the show wonder like,
how are they friends?
Well, yeah, because they didn't go to high school together, because Capo went to school with Ben. So we're like, how are they friends? Because of the hours and hours of research I do. Boring life. The hours and hours of research I do on HBO.com. They were like skateboard buddies. So they came together through the skateboard world, which would be cool because, you can have different ethnicities within that or different social classes. But yeah, they definitely didn't go to the same school or nothing like that. And I just love when you have two people who are working together at a dream, and then they possibly will throw it all away because they are different people at the end of the day. But sometimes being around different people
But I think
is really
they're
good.
fickle anyways with what their dream is. They say clothing line, but then first they start off with skateboards as a hustle, and then they're doing like, okay, the t-shirts because that sounds good, and then they're doing the jeans because that sounds good, and then they're doing the sweaters because that sounds good. I mean, what do you guys really want to do?
Well, you do what you got to do.
Right, but I'm saying
I will disagree with you a little bit on that. Like, it is a little sloppy, but yeah, I mean, what your first goal is, may not be where you start
but I'm
shining.
saying someone's going to tell them that belt is the new thing, and they're going to go with that.
Why
so
not?
all I'm saying is that
I
they don't
agree with you, Jess.
don't have that much loyalty to anything. They're just trying to get on.
Which is why Cam is going to come around and realize he needs to do Chris by Yossi.
Yeah, well, there's a term, break where you're strong. Like, everyone wants to be a mogul. Everyone wants to be Oprah, like, or whoever, Ryan Seacrest or whoever. Like, I don't know, give me some names. But yeah, everyone wants to be somebody.
Maria Menounos.
Yeah,
there it is.
Everyone wants to have like their hand in everything. But if you don't break where you're strong, you're never gonna get there. Okay, this is why I love How to Make It America. Thanks, you guys. I'm so glad we just kind of we scaled back and we just did a back to basics show. What do you think? Give me your final thoughts.
There
on the
may
episode.
not be crisp anymore. You guys might have to come out with fresh. You know
I like that.
His nickname used to be Jesse Fresh.
Jesse F. Daniels.
It all ties together.
Jesse Freddy Cougar Fresh.
Thank you guys so much for all the retweets and everything you guys do on Facebook and showing us love. AfterBuzz is definitely doing big things. We had a great host party. More to come. My name is Ronnie Jr. Keep watching this show.
Yes.
Spicy Muddy.
Jesse F. Daniels.
If you want to make it in America, and thank you to Jesse Janity, the DJ in the booth.
Yes.
All right, we
Shout
out
out
here.
to Jesse.
Peace. And thought freedom.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.